What's happening, YouTube? Your most entertaining YouTube channel on a Monday night with all the all-stars of reviewing TV shows. We got J Mo up here sitting with me. We got Larry, the living legend, on the bottom. Then we got Muchella, who loves to hang with the fellas. And last but not least, checking in, we got Nita, who's somewhere near the Chicago diva. What's going on, Nita?
Larry, your hair is cut.
I did. I took it all off.
Everything. Oh, wow.
Okay.
I like it. It's different.
See, J Mo. See, you can take it off, J Mo. You see, Larry getting all the ladies love.
Oh yeah, the ladies don't complain, but I do. As far as I don't like it. Plus, you know, it shine too much on here with the stuff. You know, I ain't trying to blind everybody, man. Like Cash Money, get your shine on.
I know, man. Gotta get your shine on.
Yeah.
So far in the building, we've got Spill the Tea, who's ready to see Larry and Nita go at it. Steve Haskins is in the building. So y'all see how we put them right down there on the bottom together.
Oh wow.
You know I should be on top, though. You know I should be on top.
Sloppy Ninja is in the building.
That ain't sound right, but
that did a little provocative, huh?
Key Malik is in the building. Sloppy Ninja, funny name by the way, Sloppy Ninja. Don't get caught in those streets being a sloppy ninja. Your ass might die. But I love the name though. Fresh Prince of Atlanta is in the building, man. We got the crowd. They all getting in here. Now, before we get started, for my people that follow this channel for stocks, and you know, me and Larry's, we trying our best to fit it in. I'm gonna give you guys what Reddit is talking about. I'm gonna tell you how I think you should play it. So, number one, Reddit is talking about Corsair Gaming. What are they? They're the people that supply your major sports casinos with their equipment. They supply online people with equipment. They're talking about trying to pump it up. I checked the volatility. It is up. If you're going to play that one, just buy the stock. It's a good stock. It's a quality stock. It's one that you can hold short-term, long-term. So if it takes a bump down, you just sit and wait for it to go back up. If you can afford a couple of shares, buy some shares and wait for it to go up. The other one they're talking about is this thing right here, Context Logic. And what are they? They are an online platform that connects different apparatuses. This one, if you want to play this one that Reddit is pumping up, just buy a simple call on this one because I do not believe in this company one bit. Don't go and buy 20, 30, 50, 1100 calls. Just get one call and make that call as long as possible that you can afford, because this is not something I want you to hold. If you're going to play this game with these guys in Reddit, this is just one that you play just for lottery money. But this one right here, Corsair, you want to put some of that in your portfolio because people is getting out going gambling. 10 other states just legalized gambling for online purposes. So definitely jump on that one. And last bit of housekeeping I got to do. Today is the official day that you can go vote on my fitness mentor's homegirl's daughter, Lydia Laws, to win $20,000 as she is trying to win the Muscle and Fitness Hers contest. Link is in description. Voting starts today. And whoever gets the most votes wins, and she'll get 20 G's on top of that. So, panel, I want to start from J Mo. Give me a quick 1-minute synopsis of how you felt about episode 4. Shy.
Well, quick. It was not as bad as the episode 3 in the sense that at least they didn't show so much of the, you know, the police gone and the bag lady trying to patrol the neighborhood. But as long as they don't show that and leave that alone, it's a little better already to me. You know, and seeing Emmett and Tiff, we see how messy that's gonna be. It's already messy. They still got Kev and Jake the Snake. Oh man, I ain't gonna get to that because it's a minute, but that's a little more interesting, but messed up at the same time. And I see Kev is is going through some stuff, and it seems that he trying to do the right thing, and he kind of getting punished for it. So that's unfortunate. So,
okay, I can give that. Moochie, give me your minute synopsis. How do you feel about this episode?
I feel like it was a build-up episode because it's building us up, and the next episode is going to be like that climax. I thought everything is basically getting tied together now, where we're seeing where things are going with Tracy and Duda, Kevin, Jemma, and Jake, and the whole craziness with Tiff and Emmett.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Larry, living legend. Give me a minute. What'd you think about this episode?
Yeah, this was one of those episodes where you realize Kev needs some new friends. You know, he needs some people who are really going to have his back. His friends don't. Even Dear Papa, as much as I love him, has given some really crappy advice. And you know, I'm not going to say discard Papa. You just probably don't want to listen to what he's saying right now. Keisha, I'm happy to see Keisha looks like she's finally getting herself right with her decision. And it seems like that woman is straight up legit. You know, She legit. She tried to play the okie doke on her with the whole bringing the ex-husband in and stuff, but it seems like once she came through with just being her authentic self, it's working out for her. So, you know, I think this relationship between Trig and Nuck and Imani, I think, is about to heat up and get interesting. And I would want to talk about, you know, fake ass revolutionary Jemma and Jake the Snake, but they don't really deserve any energy from anybody. Them two dirtbags.
Oh, we gonna give them some energy. It's gonna be some bad energy. We're gonna cut them down to size. Do you hear me? We're gonna
dirty
cut them.
Duo.
Yeah, man, we're gonna get
her
them.
Little fake revolutionary beret or something. It's like she's dressing up as like revolutionary Barbie or something. You know,
Larry, don't even give her that much credit. She stole that shit from her art class in Gym 101. That was not a revolution. That was an art hat, man. She stole it. Nita, give me a minute on what you thought about this episode.
Like Jay said, I think I liked it better than last week. Mm-hmm. It is a build up, just like Moochie said. You know, we're actually getting ready to get to the. I had some hot takes. Did you read my comments on your video, Jay? My theories, my predictions.
I saw a few. Which one you talking about?
About what actually happened to Trinity.
Oh.
I had some hot takes on that, so we'll get to that when we get there. But I had just wondered
what happened to her, though, right?
Yeah, but I still think there's something else that happened with that because we didn't see the showdown. So
okay,
yeah. So okay. I'm gonna hush on that. But like I said, I like the episode better. The only thing is this whole thing about Nina, Dre, and Jada. Absolutely not. I'm not feeling it. Who else? Yeah, Papa. I mean, I understood where he was coming from, but I think Kevin interpreted wrong and he kind of said the wrong things, but he did need to say what he was saying, what Papa was saying, but he just needed to think about it in a different way. Like
they turned Papa into like an after school special or something.
Right.
Now, his Instagram thing is called Pulpit. I think Papa Pulpit or something like that.
And it looked like it's blowing up too, like we said it was going to do. It's blowing up.
Papa was giving you know, Kev advice as if he was talking, like as if he was going to be talking to Maisha, and he doesn't realize that he's going to have to talk to Jemma. They're two different people, and so his advice wasn't going to apply for Jemma. But that's just one of those things. You're inexperienced. You don't know but the one woman you've been with, the one girl you've been with, so you're basing everything off of her.
I think he was right by telling him
took care of woman too.
He wasn't selfish, not at all. I don't think Kev was selfish at all.
No, he wasn't selfish one bit. And see, the whole thing is Papa didn't know the whole story, but we will get to that.
Are we starting with this segment right here?
No, we're not starting with this segment.
That was just my quick thoughts. Right. I'm done.
All right,
Okay.
so
And Nita, you talking about not to get into it because I know you're moving on. What you think Trig and Nook may have had to do with what? Okay, that's
Exactly.
interesting. So yeah, bring it up later.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that, and we've got 66 people in the building. Can we get 66 likes? Can we get 66 new subscribes to everybody's channel? Links is in the description. They're also on my related channels tab. Let's open this thing up with why we feeling Kevin so much now. And Larry been riding with Kevin from day one through thick and thin.
That's my man's in them.
Let's take a look at this.
Let's do a walkout.
When?
Tomorrow, third period.
That's when everyone's at home.
I know.
I'm down for the cause. Whatever you need, I got you.
Thank you, D.
How are you supposed to get everyone to just walk out of class?
Our Instagram. I'll just DM everyone.
Wow. So you want proof that it was your idea?
Look, everyone in BAM is trustworthy.
Look, my parents promised they'd get off my back if I just, stayed out of trouble.
But this is good trouble, Kevin. They would be proud.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to lose their trust. Like, these rich kids gonna be all right. We don't got no trust fund.
What you trying to say, Kevin?
I'm saying that Daddy got the money to bail you out of jail if somebody calls the cops.
Ain't nobody calling the cops.
Wow. Spoken like the spoiled black girl you are.
Damn right, Kev. Damn right,
I'm
Kev.
glad he said what he said.
Damn right, Kev has some backbone. He ain't stutter with your
Right,
damn artistic beret trying to act like you got something black power. Girl, take that thing off your head.
Yeah.
But so I caught the vibe on the transition they did. They had music that sounded like it was a damn daytime soap opera. I don't know if y'all caught that, but damn it, I did. I caught it. They transitioned with some music. I was like, is this on the Young and the Restless? What in the hell?
It might as well be.
The Young and the Hustlers.
Something, man. So we're gonna get back to jump on Jake Jim in a minute, but Jemma, I'm coming with you first with the opening scene. So they opened this episode up with a little tiff on Dante action to start this episode out. Give me your thoughts on the initial opening with this scene right here with Tiff. I ain't even gonna call her baby girl. She don't deserve it.
Yeah, so I think this show right here, that it's not even just physical. Although we see the physical, she really is like, emotionally is cheating. She done checked out on Emmett. She really liking this dude. And I think it's a wrap. It's gonna be hard, like they say. Once I don't know if how good she was, but once a good girl gone, she gone forever. Like I think she about to be gone for Emmett. It's a wrap because they was trying to show on the other end with Emmett, and he ain't emotionally into it, even though the physical was there. So like she all into it. She having a good time. She looking for Dirty D, Dante, double Dirty D. And, it's a wrap, man. She really liking that dude, but I don't think she realized he may not be the same for her. She might have been that object he was trying to get that was hard to get. Now he got it. He having fun with his new toy. But if she come with kids and baby stuff and messing up his bachelor pad, he may be like, I'm good.
Yep. Moochella. I always say, what's going to happen when the dog catch the car? Well, Dante done called it. Talk about it, Moochie. What was up with that opening scene?
He's basically playing with his food now. That's what it is. Like I said last week, he already got in her mind.
Oh no, you did. Well, that Moochie good for 2 bangers every episode. Ladies.
Look, he already in her head. He was in her head. He's like, now I got her now. That's what I got from that. When this picture you showing me right here, I got her now.
Hey, he playing with that food. He playing with that food.
Yeah, he playing with the cookie.
Having a good time.
Living legend, jump on in there, my brother. You've been right the whole time, living legend. Through all the strife these people gave you with Nita the Diva, you've been just steadfast. You've been
I was
Kevin.
right too. I said he got in her head.
You was. Larry, jump on in there, my brother. The show is yours.
Yeah, man. I mean, she's on some different level stuff because she's trying to have her cake and eat it too because she wants to have this open relationship, but really what she wants to have is the comfort and security of her husband at home, and then she wants to have a boyfriend. And that's what she wants. And she's trying to set all these rules up so that Emmett can't do the same thing, that he can't have someone on the side that may mean something to him, or he can't just go flop around wherever he wants from girl to girl, because she's up there trying to set all these rules. And then when he tried to say, okay, you can't see Dante anymore because it's a problem. It's not just a matter of sex anymore. You're actually feeling him. And she's like, nah. She doesn't want to give him up. But here's the thing that and this may be jumping ahead a little bit, but if you notice when Emmett was with the other girl, he wasn't there. He's not into that. Emmett did all his playing before he got married. He was like, he did like people teach you to do. Get that stuff out of your system before you get married, and then be married. And
right.
Emmett, and I think that moment in the car when they had this conversation, I think Emmett at that moment may have realized, I don't love her anymore because she's not the woman that I fell in love with. I think someone else now. I think Emmett he might not have only checked out completely, and that's not one to live his life like that anymore, but I think he might have checked out of the marriage at that moment.
Okay. Nita, you get the cleanup job. Not the cleanup woman. Not the cleanup woman. Not my grandma old classic song, but you get the cleanup job on this issue.
Well, this issue, I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, they, like Emmett said, they playing house. And like I said, when you start getting into all of the baggage that the woman has, he may not want to deal with all that stuff. So we don't know how it's going to go. We'll see. It looks like he's feeling her. She looked like she's feeling him. I do agree that there's an emotional affair that is going on. And yeah, it may not end up good for neither one of them, but for right now, for what I'm seeing, it looked like it's chill to me.
Okay. All right.
Here's the problem with this is that when it's finally over, when what's his name, Dante, is finally done with her, she's not going to be able to go back to Emmett all heartbroken and expect her husband to console her over the loss of her boyfriend. You can't do that. That shit is not going to happen. He's going to end up hating her and resenting her. It's one thing that I think if you have an open marriage and you guys are just bouncing around having casual sex, maybe together, maybe, just separately. But when you enter into a whole other relationship,
right,
that is when you really just destroy things. And I don't think there's any coming back from it. I think Emmett is checked out of that. I don't think Emmett's checked out of the idea of love or wanting to be married, but Emmett is checked out of being with Tiff.
I think so too.
I think the one thing that
they too young for that anyway. They only just barely in their 20s. Like, we don't need to do this. They should just move on.
Yeah. I think the one thing that might pull them back together is the issue going on with his mama.
I was going to say that.
They came together at the very end. Emmett really needs someone's shoulder to cry on. She acted benevolent in those moments. She acted exuberant to his needs in that moment. And so maybe that could be the thing that could maybe, if not bring them back together, at least keep them cordial. So we'll see.
Maybe. I
think that might be the thing that ends it.
That chick was dirty. She came and hopped in his lap. She didn't even take a shower.
You don't know that.
She got home wearing the same ass clothes she had on earlier.
I know that. The first night, now we know she hopped up and then jumped on one pole to the next pole.
Hey,
this time we don't know that.
You might have been able to smell that stuff anyway. I mean, Dante looked like he's dirty.
I don't think he needs her in that way, because if you, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but if you notice his reaction in that moment when
we already jumped to the almost end. Let's wrap it up now.
I'm just saying, if you looked at Emmett's reaction, Emmett didn't react in the way that everyone thought he was going to react. Emmett stood tall and was there. He was there and present. And I think that's going to speak a lot to how Emmett's going to move forward with all of this. I honestly would not be surprised if we see Emmett and Keisha together, because they're going to end up maybe commiserating with each other and because of their various traumas, but also because they are just supposed to be together.
I don't think so. I feel like when now I don't want to jump too far ahead. So when we get to the next scene, I'll discuss it. I'll end it like that.
Well, we're starting with you now, Moochie, and this involves someone that I had a whole lot of admiration for. And I done lost it with her now. I done lost it with her ass.
You
know
the losers, man.
Why you lost it with her?
I'm through with her, man. I'm through with her. I'm through. I'm
glad you got it right with Crystal, because boy, your TV wives are out of control.
Man, they nuts, man. I can't rely on none of them, man. I mean, they all just filthy as hell, man. They falling for the banana in the tailpipe, left and right.
Literally.
Yeah, that's because you're not there to guide them, though. That's because you're not there to guide them.
Exactly. So, Moochie, you got this chick who wakes up early in the morning, and she's basically enslaved by Miss Perry. Miss Perry said you might as well sit your ass down and have you some breakfast because you got to get schooled here. So, Moochie, take this scene and run with it.
All right. Now, first of all, when she woke up, you saw the champagne bottles tipped over. They had a good old night. They had a good old night. When you wake up, when she woke up, like, whose bed am I in?
Wait a minute, Moochie. You trying to say there was probably more than 1 or 2 nuts?
Heck yeah! 1, 2, 3. Look, if the way she woke up, she had like a good sleep. That's like when you get that coma sleep.
And Moochie, look how she came downstairs. Look at that.
Look, she gonna come downstairs in his shirt.
Right, you talking about 1 or 2 nuts? That was almond joy up in this month.
Look, she had one up against the glass. You know she got one in the bed. If you don't even know if Roz gave her a nut.
Oh my goodness!
Look, I'm gonna go there.
Look at that booty cheeks on the glass. Look right there.
We don't know if Roz gave her a nut.
2 ham hocks.
You can say that
Glazed.
again. You can say that again. If you want to get blood pressure turned up, this is the girl for you right here. Miss Tracy. Larry, take the wheel, my brother. Down to you.
Man, I'll tell you, I had to admit, I was so disappointed because I was like, this is going to be like the shining light of the show. She's going to take all of her pain and her trauma, and she's going to throw it into something beautiful with this community program. She's going to be the one that when all this show is already gone to hell, we're going to be able to look to her and say, at least there was one. And no, we are not going to be able to do that. She has gone off on some full-on Professor Megram crap, boy. She's just locking and keying it. You know,
oh man, why y'all continue to do that to me? Why, Larry, matter of fact, that's the end of your.
Mad at her though.
That's the end of your statement, Larry.
She had Ronnie the drunk. He probably was really messing up. So that was pity tale she was giving up with him.
Wait a minute.
I can't wait till the new twist in the show comes.
No,
when Ronnie comes on her ass
to blow her back out right. and come on. I'm just saying.
Ain't nobody know this was a supernatural show. It was been building up all this time.
Yes.
He goes drunk.
Look, she got it done with. She came downstairs, and even though she said good morning or whatever she said to her,
let's look at her face.
I'm disgusted with her, but I'm gonna entertain this. Because after what I had last night. Okay.
It was funny though, when she said, I can't let you leave, and she looked at her, she was like, I'm not trying to kidnap you.
Right. What does that mean? Mooch, Nita the Diva, I'm coming to you, but let me shout out my big homie Swipe Lee, who said the same thing that I said when we started this review. Did y'all catch that stupid ass Young and the Restless soap opera music when they cut from this scene? I was like, man, where we going with this? But Nita, what'd you think about old Tracy coming downstairs and she can't leave because they protesting downstairs, and Miss Perry, who probably got her a little taste of that light-skinned cookie, said, sit on down and have some breakfast.
Right. That's the real question. Did she get in on it? That's what I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out, did Rose get a taste?
Look,
she had a sample last night of that.
Because the way she woke up.
Yeah.
Rose looked like once she was wasted. Come on, anything could have happened. They have to still keep it kind of PG-ish because they have the tweens watching the show.
PG,
not PG. It's like they're not gonna go there. They're gonna let you think it. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think it's NC-17.
Going on. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Don't let your kids watch then. Don't be messing up my programming because you can't control what your kids watch. Put on the parental guards on the TV.
I still think it's gonna be another encounter.
It's gonna be another one.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
and I think it's gonna involve all three of them. I said it from the first episode, threesome, and y'all looked at me with the Scooby-Doo look like,
Who?
Like y'all didn't believe me.
With you.
No, I know you was with me. You always be with me, Nita.
I'm gonna have to watch
you was like, you sure about that? I said, I see three for.
I'm gonna have to watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta to see what Todd says.
Yeah.
What happened?
Todd ain't feeling it, bro. Todd don't want her no more love scenes, but Todd
That's why I didn't go down.
Look, I got people agreeing with me in the chat, so there it is.
J-Mo, finish out this train. I mean, oh Lord, how much?
This train wreck.
Finish out this one, J-Mo.
Man, so Swipe Lee also made a comment about how the show started off with Tracy son getting killed. It's like the one thing about this show that's happening more is like we're losing too many storylines and people is like caring too much from one week to the next. Big things seem like small things, and they even had an article in the Chicago Tribune, which is like the #1 paper in Chicago, about too many plot storylines. Like we don't hear nothing about Ronnie. She don't go to visit his grave. Nothing. You know what I mean? This dude got his brains blew out right next to you. You know what I mean? We don't hear nothing about defund the police this entire episode. That's a major thing. Like it's just like, oh well, moving on. You know what I mean? It's just too much. Now we see this situation with her and Duda and Rose, but we probably won't hear nothing about it next week. But this scene did make me think that at least Tracy ain't the one that's gonna shoot him. Because how can she be ready to shoot this man from this week to next week? Like, what could possibly go wrong with that? Now, maybe Rose, but then she didn't show no frustrations really with Duda enough to want to shoot him by next week. So I'm starting to think maybe neither one of these two women shot him, because we don't see her like mad or scheming. She laughing it off in a way and saying, I don't want to kidnap your ass and I want to watch and this and that. So how can she be the one that want to shoot him? And how could Tracy be the one that want to shoot him? So like, I'm like confused. Who wants to shoot him other than maybe a cop?
I was going to say, that's how when you talk about how these people are writing storylines where they're moving and it doesn't seem like parallel dimensions, it's because sometimes the writers want you to forget stuff that they did early in a series because they want to spring it back up on you later as a surprise. And we ain't forgot about them cops. Cops could definitely be somebody that pops up and shoots Duda. But I think we might be going down a road where, damn, it could be a Monty or Trig that pulls the trigger, but we're going to get there too.
They probably going to leave it as a question mark.
They haven't given us one yet.
Yeah, they're going to probably see him get shot, and then the next 5 episodes, we got to figure out who done it.
Right. What you got, Moochie?
Who shot Jay?
Put your hand down, man.
I don't want to cut anybody off in
high school.
I don't want to cut anybody off when they're talking. Look,
okay.
Okay,
well, you sweet. Yeah, okay.
No, but listen, do you
mean cut him off like this?
Pardon me?
You mean cut him off like this?
See, here you go. Did you get ready to jump on the horse and go all the way to the end?
Ride to the wheels fall off.
No, what I was gonna say, do you remember how the cop was giving him the side eye when they drove by
in the alley?
I think it's gonna be the cop that triggered him beat up.
Okay, yeah, because they haven't brought him back. They haven't brought him back into the story so that we can kind of forget him, so to speak. So they might spring that up on him and let that be him.
See, we should have saw him in the basement, like putting together guns or something. Or like, had a picture of Mayor Perry on the wall from target practice or something. Yeah.
Or they should have a picture of his ass at the insurrection on the government. That's where we should see some info on him right there. They should have a big picture of this cop. He went to the insurrection on the United States, and bam, then you can tie him to
about January 6th.
January 6th, exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. All right, Larry, it's your turn, and it's your boy Kev, my brother. It's your boy Kev. So we've been talking about they need to take him to counseling. All right. So they finally decided to do that, Larry. They stepping up to the plate. So Kev is in counseling with Nina and Dre. And the counselor basically comes down and sits down and says, Kev, what is it that you want? Kev talks about what he wants. They come to a yada, yada, yada. Break down this situation, Larry.
I'll tell you, when I watched this scene, I was so pleased and so disappointed all at the same time.
Man.
Wow.
Because they are in counseling with him, but they're talking so much about them. It's like they're in there for Kev, and they're talking almost about everything but him. You know, Nina's up there talking about how, yeah, she's been, you know, busy or feeling whatever kind of way. And then, you know, and then she says, oh, yeah, well, we have been on him. But they haven't really been on him. They just been nagging him. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't self-medicate. Stay right in school, blah, blah, blah. But they haven't really done any works with those words, you know? And sometimes if you have a kid that's not doing right, sometimes you need to say, guess what? You don't get to go to this after-school program. You need to be at home the second school's over. And sometimes you have to go pick them up from school and drive them home, you know? And you have to be there at the house with them. That's part of it. Sometimes it sucks. My parents said it. My mom used to say, I hate it when you're on restriction because I'm on restriction. That's just the way it is. You know? But, I mean, it's just, oh, yeah. In a lot of ways, they validated everything he was saying. Yeah, they're not really paying attention to me. It's all about Keisha, you know, and they were like, she basically said, yeah, that's true. That's the way it is. I'm worried about, I had a daughter kidnapped. I'm worried about something's going to happen to him. And, you know, but at the same time, she's up there saying she's worried about him, but then they're running around partying all the time, hanging out with their friends, going to, you know, costume parties and whatnot. It's just, I don't like those two as parents. I just don't think they're doing a good job with either one of their kids. And even then, you can see how Nina gets so jealous when that other woman came around. I'm not trying to get there, but since we're talking about parenting, she's so jealous of the way that woman was interacting with Keisha. I was like, they're just not good parents.
Yeah.
Okay. Nita, your thoughts?
I definitely don't agree with Larry. These people, this couple can never do anything right for Larry. Like they are trying. And a lot of times, like in my therapy sessions where I have issues with my parents, is that as a child, you don't know what your parent is going through. You don't know their story. And so when she just says a whole sentence about why she is worried about him and why she's trying to keep him on the right track and why she's being on him. So I'm still trying to figure out how they not doing nothing, but they doing too much at the same time. Like that.
No, they're saying stuff, but they're not doing anything. They're telling him, don't do this, don't do that, but they're not putting any actions behind that.
Yeah, you got to put rules. You got to put them on punish. Even Cam said, you always saying you're going to do this and never do it. Then they have no
follow through.
Yeah, there's no follow through with a man. Men think with actions, whereas women think with emotions. So he always hearing them popping off emotionally. But like he even told them, y'all don't never do it. And then she did eventually pop him in the back of the head. But it's like you do it because I called you out on it.
Y'all said that was wrong too.
That wasn't wrong.
Yeah, y'all said that last week.
Y'all said
I agree with that one.
I don't think that's
that
wrong.
Was right. I don't think you should hit him in the head like that.
You said
I would hit you in the head if you're talking crazy to me.
I think violence like that.
First of all, I would have been hitting you in the head so you'd have known when I tell you what the hell to do. I mean business. I've been ran your feet over and popped you. Hey, we got a problem. Like Ice Cube and Boys of the, we got a problem here. Is there a problem?
Yeah. I think any corporal punishment has to be very controlled and it needs to be consistent. And I think one thing that you should do, and this is just me, I don't think you should ever strike a child with your own hand. I think there should always be something else, a belt, a switch, whatever. It needs to be something else besides your own hand. Your child should never feel any sort of corporal punishment coming from your body itself. There always needs to be something separating you physically from them.
I don't know, man. I look at it this way.
That's what they had the whip, right?
You don't deal with a teenage boy, especially I'm talking from a woman's point of view, when they get that height and they think they're gonna raise up on you.
Oh well, that's what I mean. It's different.
I'm speaking from experience.
I think it's different when you talk about
when I couldn't do certain stuff, my brother, I would have to call my brother or my dad to step in.
I think it's a different thing when you're dealing with teenagers because I don't think once they get to the point of being teens, I don't think you should put hands on them anymore. I think
it's too late. Actually,
putting your hands on your kids.
I'm up in his face like this, though. I tell you that. I'm like just doing all of that.
So I'll say one thing about this, like
that's probably not the most right. But if that's causing him to get more amped up to where you have to call someone else in for assistance, it's probably not the best way to handle that situation.
Well, I don't know. I did find my son is
what they was doing.
They engineering all of that. Yes, I did.
They weren't doing that. They did that one time.
I'll say this: it ain't no right way to parent a child, or set way. So you got to kind of find a way to that makes sense for everybody.
Yeah, figure out how to
regard. Now, me, I'm from the respect that if you start early, you won't have to do much when they're young. They'll already have the respect for what you say and understand. You know, so like as my son got older, I didn't have to hit him or do stuff like that because he know I'm in business early. Not that I beat him to death or this or that, when he was young, but he did get a whooping or, I think hitting with the hand, not a closed fist. I never punched my son in the face or some shit like that. Don't get me wrong. That's like beating them like they somebody on the street. But an open hand on the butt or something when they young or something, with the clothes on, I ain't about to smack your dirty ass with my hand. Your bare hand, booty, little thing, shit.
I used to take away stuff from my son. So, if we go in there, I used to take stuff away from him, but I did call my brother. My brother did.
Yeah.
My brother and my father.
See, when I got older, I used to ask for a whooping because my mom or my dad would say simply like, okay, you don't get to have your camera for a week. Well, no, just give me my ass whooping because that'll be done in a few minutes. No, this is when you get older. They should realize there are other things that hurt worse. Like
exactly, but that's when you get older though. So you have to change and you don't get to run.
Yeah. Once I say I will be up in his face though.
Right.
And my son was
too many influences,
so I'll be like just looking up, talking to him.
Yeah, I think y'all are both right. It's just that it's the time periods of when you're doing it. And who's doing it. So like sometimes a single mom will have a different energy from a teenage boy because I'm taller than you can't do this, that, and it's different than if their dad was there checking them and saying stuff their whole life. Then they would have a different energy. Although some teenage dudes think I can take my dad now, and not to say they'll start to fight their dad, but you may have that energy. I remember thinking that at one point when I was younger. But I had so much respect for my dad.
I would have beat him up. Teenagers that want to have the final word.
Well,
and I'm not doing all that back and forth with you. We're not doing all of that.
That just comes with you getting older and
you're gonna
smarter.
Shut up. You're gonna listen.
That's true. That's true.
And that's how I get down. And if I have to call my brother, I'm calling my brother. And
but you don't want your brother to be the bad guy. But you'll make your teenage son not like your brother because every time he come around, he got to be hitting on me and threatening me.
No, my brother's a nice, cool, calm guy. He do not yell.
The chef.
But you don't want him to lay down
my
the
brother's
smackdown.
Cool, calm, and collective. He don't even raise his voice. So that's why I get him.
Okay.
So he's the one that's
if that works,
it's a lot for him to go there. I'm the one that's like that, like how I am now. But
if the cool, common, collected thing works, maybe that's the method to try with your son. If that's what's effective,
and like I said, that's just what I used to do.
So you saying you recognize you ain't able to do it as much? So
no, I didn't say that. Okay, I didn't say that. You gotta. What I'm saying is this: sometimes you need a man to talk to a boy because I can't teach him how to be a man because I'm not a man.
Right. That's true.
And he has, don't get me wrong. He has his father. He talked to his father. He talked to my father. And then he talked to my brother. And that's how it was with us. Like my father really was the enforcer though. I could tell my son, I'm calling dad, I'm calling my father. And then he'll be like, all right, mom, no. Because my father was like the real deal.
Well,
like I had my mom and dad, but my mom
back around right quick. Let's circle this back around right quick. I'm gonna say that maybe if Nina and what's her name had did like Moochie did and brought in maybe some fathers or uncles or whoever else to talk to Kev, maybe that would have worked. But instead, what they're doing is just taking him to a counseling session once a month or once every other week.
And then giving
him and then giving a bunch of words, but not following through, and then wondering why it's not working out for him. You can't do that. They're too busy worrying about their own lives instead of raising the children that they have. So maybe what they should do is bring in some other people but
he needs some male energy. He's surrounded by all female energy.
Counseling once or twice a month, and then saying we did everything we could. He's not listening. He's out of control.
Right. I feel like they once they lost Brandon, because Brandon was the one he used to talk to about everything. This is where his thing is spiraling out of control. Mm-hmm. He needs another male figure, because remember he used to go to Brandon to get his hair cut, and they used to chop it up and talk. Yeah. He went to him for everything, and now you got to realize this kid is really traumatized, and they not even touching on him losing Brandon.
Well, Monty's playing Captain Saber this season. Maybe he should go hang out with her.
I'm sorry?
I said Amani's playing Captain Saber this season. Maybe he should go hang out with her.
I don't think so.
But I don't think that's going to happen because now him and Jake is not getting along. So he's not going over there like that.
Yeah. Speaking of
not
Jake,
going over there like that.
Nobody over there is good for
Kev. Be with Marcus more than
Lamont trying to reel us back in.
Oh no, I got a mute button now. My little hourglass was ticking. I was just gonna let y'all finish till it got down, and everybody's gonna get muted. But now it's Nita's turn. We're talking about Jake. So since we're talking about Jake, let's talk about him. Jake and Jemma is in trouble. They in hot water. Jump on Jake Jemma with that damn beret. Take that shit off. And she's all up in here in the principal's office because they done got in a little trouble. So Nita, break down this scene as we go through the panel.
Man, they was going hard. Like they was cussing and they was acting a whole fool. I was surprised. I was like, oh my God. So the principal, Duda went in there to do some cleanup work to try to keep them in school, try to protect them or whatever for what he said on Jemma's show. Now, Duda was able to do the best he could because he's the mayor and he has a little power in there. So he was able to keep them in school. However, Jemma got the brunt of what happened. They pulled her show and they said, until this stuff dies down, we're gonna just table it. And they like, this is bullshit and all this other stuff. And it spiraled on into more events to come where they're gonna be doing a protest and they're trying to fight back because of being shut down, their voices being shut down and not being able to be heard. But what really got me was the principal talking to Duda, talking about whatever happened to good old fashioned ass whoopings.
Right.
And he was like, we not doing that no more. We getting these kids to talk with their words. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that violence begets violence. So if you kind of if you instill violence, then you're gonna get more violence in the world, and let them fight back some other kind of way. And I respect what Duda said. He said, I would have did the same thing y'all did. I would have said the same thing y'all said. But at the end of the day, he told the man, he said, we're using words. And he said, well, I don't think that's right. And he said, it gets the children to learn to speak for themselves and think for themselves. So at the end of the day, I thought it was a really good scene. And it was, that's what I thought.
Coming to you next, J-Mo, but Moochie, you got another fan in your crew. Michael Hodges sent us a $4.99 super chat, and I thank you, my brother. We use that to network and build with other YouTubers. And he wants to know where you're from, Moochie. So tell that man where you're from.
I'm from Queens.
She's from Queens. Queensbridge, ladies and gentlemen.
No, not Queensbridge.
Oh, Lord.
Queens, New York. I'm from Rosedale.
Oh, Rosedale. Excuse me. Rosedale.
Respect on that.
Yeah. I don't want no problems with y'all New Yorkers. Not none. J-Mo, what'd you think about this scene?
Moochie's a rich girl from the Upper East Side. Don't let her tell you those stories.
So what Nita said and what they say, I agree and disagree with both a little bit. So what dude was saying about what happened to a good old fashioned ass whooping is true, but it's not for when you're in high school. That's too late. Like I agree with, like Nita said, it's violence. That's not violence. It's called discipline. You discipline a child. Even in the Bible, you spare the rod. You spare the rod. You spoil the child. If you allow that child to grow up and not get disciplined, then they're going to grow up thinking that they can do stuff and say stuff without repercussions. If you don't whoop their ass, let me tell you who is. The world. The world is going to whoop your ass, okay? So it's better that you do it with love and discipline. Now, if they get to a certain age, you can't be whooping no teenager with a belt or bending them over or hitting on them. It's too late for that now. So if that didn't work then, that's when, how Larry was saying, where his parents would have to discipline him with taking away stuff or different forms of punishment. That's what you do, because now they are too big. But if you allow your child to grow up to a certain age and you have never disciplined them, they're not going to accept your discipline now all of a sudden, now that you upset that things ain't going right because you didn't baby them. The world don't see your baby as a baby. Like, I love my son to death and he's very important to me, but I've always told him, when you walk out the door, you ain't shit. You think people love you? Don't nobody give a damn about you outside this door. Like, you're not their son. They're not supposed to. You think somebody give a damn about me when I walk out the door? I ain't nobody either. Like, the cops, all of these people, they're not looking at you the same. Like, they're not my mama. Like, my mama and daddy look at me as special, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the reality of life is that's really, you know, very few people is going to look at you really as special. So you should start, you know, preparing your child for that. And everybody walk around privileged today thinking they so special and don't say this, and Jemma and Jake talking all this crap and disrespectful. Like, I may have gotten smart, but I wouldn't have been cussing and carrying on like that to no grown folks up in that office like that, because I would have known they could kick me out of school. They could suspend me. They could do this and that, and I can't do nothing about it. So I may have said something smart, but at the same time, I would have played the game in the sense of not getting too much in trouble. You know, it was a time where I even got kicked out of high school, and I had to talk my way back in it with the, you know, board of the, you know, trustees. And my mom was, she brings this up even to this day more than me, because I don't kind of remember it as much. But she was like, boy, your ass can talk, boy. I didn't know you was going to do all that. She like, man, that was good. You really played the game right, did what was needed to be done. And once I got back in, I corrected that behavior, you know. But you have to, you know, learn that if you keep messing up, if your parents ain't going to fix you, the world will. You see what I'm saying? You can't fix your temper. Somebody else is going to fix your temper. You know what I mean? Either it's going to be by their ass whooping or by a gun or the police. And they don't love your kid.
Exactly.
So crying and loving and huggy kissy stuff don't make a difference outside that door. So it's best that you start from a young age letting them know. And like when I would, my son say he don't remember this now, but whenever I would give him a whooping, I would say, now, I'm not the one that gave you this whooping. You did. You the one that did this, that, and the other that you shouldn't have did. I didn't do it. You knew you shouldn't have did this and that, right? Why you do it? You did it. If you didn't do it, we wouldn't be doing this. Boy. So it ain't me, it's you. You did this.
I'm gonna move to Moochie because Jay, you starting to sound like one of them domestic women movies. I didn't tell you to leave my house. You left. Why'd you leave? I didn't tell you to leave. I didn't mean to do you like this, but you left any damn way. So Moochie, coming to you.
I say all about this scene. I say that they let them run rampant with their mouths. And why wasn't Jemma's father there? That's what I'm trying to find out. Why wasn't he there? Because she wouldn't have been all mouthy like that if her dad was there.
I don't know, man. She do seem like
I don't think that would have made a difference.
Who will handle this?
No, I don't think she would have said that if her dad was there. I agree.
I do. Like that if her father was there.
I do.
Not cussing.
No,
right.
not the cursing. She would have she would have been talking, but he would have shut her down.
Right.
Because we've seen the daddy's form of discipline. Was he's going to take away money that buys her all her high dollar stuff that she wants, based on that conversation they had with Kev in the very first episode. So that's how he attempts to discipline Jemma. So now Larry, the ball.
Also, when I speak, I talk about raising a young man. I don't know. I wouldn't.
Oh boy.
I would rather a wife be involved in that, discipline a young girl, because I know how a young lady would react to that stuff. So, like, you know, I get it. It's hard for a woman to raise a man, because I wouldn't know, you know, certain would raise a young woman. So,
all right, Larry.
Yeah, I have to admit that when I was in there, I looked at that principal and I thought to myself, this is a man that does not need to lead.
Nope.
I was like, that he should not be in a leadership position, because if they were in there in the first moment, the first time she cursed at me or in my presence, I would have said, Your show is now canceled permanently. It does not exist anymore. The second time she cursed, I would have said, you're suspended, and if you curse again, you will be expelled. And the second she would have cursed that third time, I would have had the papers written up and said she's now welcome back at the school. Send her somewhere else, you know, and let her deal with that expulsion on her record. You know,
you know how much
why did the show get canceled?
To that school? She not getting kicked out. She getting disciplined.
Yeah, why did the show get canceled though? What happened?
Because of what happened on the last episode, with how he was saying F the police and stuff.
Oh my!
They wasn't feeling that part.
Conversation, just the conversations.
Right.
And then Duda was actually inflaming that whole situation with defund the police. The police they walking off the job, so the protests are going. So it's just real inflamed right now. So it's just all of the culmination of all of that stuff going on.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. You have to realize that when you're using somebody else's platform, you have to play within their rules. You can what you can get your message across, but you have to say it in such a way that's palatable to them. I mean, we do it every day here on YouTube. I mean, we can say some of the stuff we want to say on these various channels, but we can't just go straight ham, because YouTube will shut us the hell down.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look what happened with Trump and Facebook. Yeah. Even Trump and Facebook got shut down. They shut him down for whatever it say. Like, it don't matter who you are. You using somebody else's platform, you got to go by their rules.
I was just real disappointed in this principal, because here you are at this private school in Chicago with these young black men and women, these young black boys and girls. I mean, there's other people there too, but here they are. You often don't get to see black men in leadership positions like that, and he's weak. I just don't understand. That's why I hate it when I see these roles and this dude is weak. It's like you're letting these children curse at you. I don't understand. Like this, like it would have been immediate discipline. It would have been. I mean, that's the first. I mean, because I think they cursed like 3 separate times. I would have been like, no, your show does not exist anymore, ever. Period. Done. Don't even bother trying to get it back. It is not going to happen. If not just because of what you said, but also because of your behavior here, your show will never exist again. You know. And she would have been
he was wrong for talking about an ass whooping. Yeah, they too old for that.
But here's the thing, and Lamont showed the clip a little bit earlier with Kev and Jemma when he was talking about her rich girl, her acting like a spoiled rich girl. But here's the thing, both Jemma and Jake are running around because they both have privilege. Jake has privilege. Jake in a lot of ways has more privilege than Jemma because he has street privilege, because he has all that privilege of being able to have his brother, Trig, have his back. He had some of the same thing with Reg, and now he has it even more with Trig and Imani. So he's covered on the streets, and also he's covered with Duda because his foster dad is the mayor. So I mean, this got all kinds of privilege.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
All
And so
right,
they
well,
don't. I mean, they don't get it. They don't understand why Kev is like he is, because Kev is like, I don't have what you have. You know, I'm lucky to be in this school. I'm lucky that I get to go to this private school. You know,
Right.
I'm here because I got a scholarship because I have good grades and I'm smart. Jake, you're here because you have someone that's willing to pay for it. And you know, you probably shouldn't be here. Academically, you're lucky. I mean, I guess you're getting along, but if it was based on academics, you would have never been here in the first place.
Exactly.
Papa deserved to be there more than Jake.
Right.
Oh.
Exactly. I agree.
All right, J-Mo, this one's all for you. Oh, Lord. Nook got his girl, letting her go in the store, okay? Who pops up? Miss Sable. And she wants to save this young lady, so she pops in the store, gives her a phone, say, hit me up. Lady's like, I got to hurry up because Nook is on the street. Break the scene down for us, Mr. Mo.
Man, I think everybody doing too much between Nook and Imani, and that girl doing too little. So for one, how is he like monitoring how long they in the store, keeping this, doing that? Like he's doing too much and trying to keep them under control. And if she really was unhappy with that situation, I say she doing too little to try to run away, escape, go to police or whatever the case. Now, Imani, again, doing too much as well, because why are you so emotionally invested with this one girl that you just met, just doing the hair the other day? You don't know anything of the backstory. You about to go to war with this dude, Nook. You getting mad at Trig, making him sleep on the couch. You coming in disrespectful, fronting him off at his job. You're doing too much for somebody that, and I learned this when I was younger in Chicago, having friends that you want to try to help. You can't want more for somebody than they want for themselves. So if the person ain't coming to you with all of this stuff, you're doing too much, because you're going to end up getting them hurt, getting yourself hurt, getting upset, getting triggered. And, you know, Imani, I don't know which way Imani is thinking or how Imani is thinking, but it's not correct. You know, you trying to relate to the woman, but you acting as if you got the power to stop Nook or protect, you know, this woman. Whereas what would you have done if you did pick that woman up? What was Imani's plan? Like what keep her in the basement? Like, I mean, what was you gonna do? Have her sweeping up the floor like man? Like what? I don't get it. So like, what would be the end game? What do you think you about to do? It's just crazy. It made no sense to me. And like I say, it's two people doing too much and one person doing too little. So I can't never help somebody that ain't trying to help themselves, first of all. Now, I don't know the whole story, but that's another thing with Shy. We don't know a lot of the story going on. So,
all right, Mooch, take it and run.
I feel like with this, it was a good plan they had, where Imani had all the stuff ready for her to go to the store. She messed up. She gave her that phone. What was the reason for giving her the phone? She already said she's gonna meet you at 8:30.
Right.
And I don't know, do Chicago's have bodegas? Because you know, in New York, that's a New York thing. We got bodegas.
Yeah, we got stores like that all over.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell she knew she would be at that store at that particular time and be waiting in the checkout line. How the hell do you know that? The girl don't even got a phone. How you coordinate that you gonna be by the Reese cup?
Exactly. Like, I'm trying to figure out, if you didn't have the phone before that, how did y'all coordinate all of that?
That's because Imani's a knock agent.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, Larry, jump on in there, Larry. Jump on in there.
Ways than one.
Man, yeah, I mean, I felt like she was a little bit sloppy with this, and maybe it was just because she just didn't quite get it. But I think really they set this up for Imani to kill Nook. I really think that's what all this was about. It's just so that they can set it up so that she can kill Nook. And they needed, because she didn't like this dude from the beginning last season when they ran up in the house looking for Keisha. And so I think they just wanted to figure out a way that she would be able to kill this dude, and we would be okay with it. And I think that's what all this is.
I'm surprised he ain't come back with no revenge for that in the first place. They already done pushed it too far raiding his house. And where the bag lady patrol at when you need them?
All right, Nita, what'd you think?
I kind of agree and disagree with a lot of the people on the panel, but my thing is that when you're in a situation like this, I feel like the woman is kind of at the mercy of the man. And I felt like she made enough effort to say that she was in trouble and she could not get up under his thumb. Like, I don't understand where everybody think this superpower is supposed to come from, where she's supposed to do all this, when he was really controlling the situation.
But he let her go in the store by herself. She could have told the dude, call the cops.
He was sitting right there watching though, because they had the camera. He was in one of the in one of the views of the camera.
Ain't that outside in front of the store? That's the sidewalk.
I'm not gonna put anything on the girl because when we just look at her, you can see she looks broken.
She's in distress.
She doesn't look like she doesn't look like she's able to do much. She looks like a beaten down dog where she has her tail between her legs and she's scared to death. I mean, she looks broken, and I'm not sure she would have had the ability to get up and ask for help beyond what she already did, because she knows how dangerous it is, and we see what happened with her when things went sideways, and I think she knew that was a real possibility, and so she was terrified.
No, I mean, I'm going to jump in on this one because I do agree with both points, but there is a fine line when the captive has to figure out a way to somewhat get away from the captor. And there's just no way around it. Every time you guys see a story where women have been captive for 28, 30 years, like them chicks in Ohio, the only reason they were able to escape is because one of the chicks that was captive, who was beat down with Stockholm Syndrome, found a way to get a message to someone who got the police to come and to get them out. There's a fine line where, yes, they are mentally battered, their Stockholm Syndrome and all that, but they've got to have some point where they do reach out for help. And maybe for this girl, reaching out to Imani was her point of reaching out for help. And so I put the blame on this completely on Imani. She should have had a better plan to facilitate getting this girl somewhere to safety. That's where I look at this one.
I'm gonna put the blame. Gave her that phone. That's what I'm gonna
put the blame for this situation completely.
You should have never gave her that phone.
Hello.
Well,
that's exactly right.
That's
exactly right, Larry. That's exactly right.
I mean, I'm talking about getting out of the situation. Right. I'm talking about getting out of the situation. Right. You can blame it on Nook all you want to, and you can always blame whoever's the bad person.
Right.
But in order to get out of the situation, she's got to do something, and she's done that. She's reached out to Imani. And so I'm talking now strictly about to get out of the situation she's in. She's put Imani in the situation to help get her out, and Imani came through with a bad plan. That's how I look at it.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
And the bad plan was giving her that phone.
Exactly. That was horrible. And I think that
giving her this phone.
Yeah, and Imani should have came at Trig like, see, this is why we need the cops. What you gonna do with him now? He killed somebody, and what you gonna do?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
are we gonna talk about the scene where Trig went over there?
Oh yeah. Oh, how can we not?
We ain't get here yet, Larry. Get off the horse.
I'm just asking. I don't want to touch on it if we were going to go there.
Get off the horse with your shiny head.
Oh Lord.
Get your shine on, brother.
Remind me, J-Mo.
Glow up.
Hey, Ball Brothers Unite.
Shiny head.
Let me turn the lights off. I might glow in the dark a little bit too.
It's shiny.
That's my role.
Remind me not to lose my hair anytime soon, Lord.
No, it's not a bad thing.
Well, women actually like to rub on it.
I like when you have hair. I like when you don't have hair. I'll say it like that and leave it alone.
Okay. Well, this one's for you, Mooch. Now we talk about, and let me just say this, because me and my wife was talking about this yesterday. This Keisha is one of the finest people on the planet. I don't even think she knows just how she should be. What they have, the GQ finest woman of the year. She needs to be on that cover.
I like her lips.
I mean, everything about her is likable. And me and my wife were just talking about, she's like, maybe she ain't been discovered in those platforms yet, but this is a beautiful young lady. And she's right here, got people coming who are super Christians, super duper Christians, to try to be the next family to get the baby. And Moochella break down this situation.
Okay, chocolate girls rock. I'm gonna say that.
Oh Lord, let me see your face, because I knew it. I knew it.
Chocolate girls rock. I'm gonna say that, being a chocolate girl myself.
Yes.
All right.
I agree.
Neither you can't be down that way, but you cinnamon.
Anywho, I like the way she was questioning the people, but she got stank with them for a moment.
Yeah,
she got stank. Almost like, how many kids y'all have?
Yeah, man.
She was like, yeah, she got stank with them. Like, how many kids y'all have? And then once they started talking about religion, I think that, like, nah, I'm not leaving my baby with these people.
You know what it felt like?
That was messed up.
It felt like they was adopting all these kids and indoctrinating them into some kind of a whatever.
A cult, right? Didn't it sound like that?
I don't want to say it was an outright cult, but it did sound like there was some indoctrination going on, the way they was adopting all these children. And when she asked them how many more you plan to adopt, they was like, this is the last one.
Right.
Yeah. Even though I seemed like that, it seemed like that was a lie to me.
Yeah, maybe so. Larry, what'd you think about this scene?
Yeah, I feel like they might have actually had the kid if they had just shut up.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Because she was sort of feeling like, okay, here's the general vibe. They're together. They seem like decent people. They're, they already have kids. And then he got up and just had to run his damn mouth and just could not stop talking. And I think if he just would have shut up, she probably would have been okay with it. So, but
extra.
And it's somebody put in the comment section that super religious people are weird as F. And I don't want to say that, but I will say that oftentimes I've known, and we probably all do, I've known people that have come from very, very religious families, and we know that some of them turn out to be the wildest,
the worst,
drinkingest, doing druggingest, having the most sexingest people on the planet, because they are so repressed in all kinds of ways that the second they get away from their parents, whether it's going to school, playing sports, when they leave to college, they turn into a freak of all wildest proportions.
Let's keep it religious. They turn into a heathen.
Saint or sinner. That's just what it be.
Yeah,
man.
But I heard I've experienced that from overbearing parents, period, with friends.
Right.
Yeah,
you can get that too.
The same way.
Yeah.
I mean, the reasoning for it's just different. Some of it's religion, some of it's just, you may have those people that are like, no, you're gonna stay at home every day and do 10 hours of extra homework, and you have a tiger mom or whatever the other versions of moms are.
Right.
The tiger mom.
That's what the Asian mom. That's what they call Asian mom.
Tiger mom.
No, tiger mom is what they call it's a term generally for Asian women that are super restrict about their kids doing all their work and all kinds of extra work and making sure they can get into the best schools and everything. And they say the kids oftentimes crack under that pressure. They say that the suicide rates amongst Asian kids is really, really high because they have these astronomical expectations, and oftentimes they don't feel they can meet them.
Right. Plus, they don't have the same belief in the Most High in that community. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Nita, it's on you now. What'd you think?
Yeah, I think when he started talking about religion in that type of way, I felt like she was triggered because I feel like her abductor actually talked in that manner, talking about you shouldn't be out here on these streets. God wouldn't like that. God wouldn't do all this stuff. But I think with religion, they take parts of religion and they apply to what they want to apply to, and then they do other sadistic things that just really just doesn't line up with the same thing that they be trying to push. So I think that's where that came from, and I think she was triggered from that because I think when he cut her hair off He was talking about her clothes, talking about God don't want you out here like that. But do God want you raping her and getting this girl pregnant at the same time? So I think that definitely turned her off. And I think when she heard that, she was like, oh no. And so she was able to internalize that, like while she was abducted, and said, no, I want my kids to be free. I don't want to be up underneath all of that stuff, because it's not always right or wrong. Also, too, she I thought it was a good contrast against how she went against the girl, Octavia, because her and her husband was about to fall out. And it's not always about having a two-parent household, because one parent can be toxic and one parent can be a negative influence, and it doesn't matter who's in the house. It's just it matters about the energy, it matters about the intention, it matters about the love in the heart of someone. And if it's a single parent household, then so be it. Because these people who say they're not going to be divorced next year, like, you don't know that. There are no guarantees when you're married.
That's true.
Okay. All right.
So that's how I feel about that.
J-Mo, you get the last bite of this apple.
All right, all right. You know, Nita, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, that she is still going through that traumatic experience, still healing. And so maybe that triggered her, because dude did say stuff like that. And we all know that, but the Bible, religion, period, has been used to do some horrible things in this world. Even like in slavery, they used to use the Bible and interpret it in ways to make them, you know, feel better or have power and things. So, you know, I understand how maybe she got triggered because he was using different things and saying, you know, different things in a way to justify his actions, which of course was wrong. But that being said, she did get a little upset about just God, but then, like you say, maybe she ain't thinking this way, because if that's the case, God did allow you to survive it, or did you through the strength, maybe you can say you survived. People got different interpretations, different beliefs. One thing is for sure, we all ain't gonna be here forever, and we gonna find out one way or another. So I get it, but as far as the indoctrination of them, I think maybe she saw it that way because of the point of what you just said. So she's a little more sensitive, and I would be too. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody was doing horrible things to me in the name of God and kidnap me and use my body against me, then the first person comes saying that, especially if I was young, I probably would have different thoughts and get upset and get triggered as well. So I forgot about that part. I'm glad you brought that up, that he was saying that, and I get it. But I think that they meant well, and that they may have not been that bad. It's hard to tell. That's why she shouldn't be interviewing the people in the first place, in my opinion, because it takes a qualified person, and even then they still make mistakes, because it's like the first date. Everybody's on their best behavior usually on the first date. Then you find out this person ain't really worth a damn. So it's hard to tell by doing this interview. Ain't nobody gonna say, hey, we smiling, but really we ain't shit. We just want that money. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get that tax money. You know what I'm saying, girl? Like ain't nobody gonna come and tell the truth about stuff. So it's hard to tell. And it's just a difficult situation she in. And I get she trying to make the best of it, and she's still dealing with that trauma from dude. So I get it now. And like I say, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot.
You know, I don't understand is why Nina's always there, because every time Nina's there, Nina always seems like she's a little jealous of these other parents coming around. And Dre's the one that's an actual trained counselor that may be able to observe these people and give her a little insight after they leave. And she's never there.
Right. Yeah. But she's supposed to be the two-parent household, and they supposed to care and raise them together. But Dre is never there for the kids, period. Like this first time we saw her with Kev in the counseling, which they was like you say earlier, they always like nagging on him. Kev is not that bad. He could be dropping out of school, running the streets. He could really be on drugs or trying to sell drugs.
Or like what somebody else said in the comment, hooking up with the dude that shot Ronnie.
Exactly. Like,
right. I mean, let's think about Kev. Let's think about Kevin.
Hold up, Larry. You about to talk about Kevin right now.
Okay.
And this is the scene, and I'm glad it's on you anyway. This is the scene when Kevin dropped straight knowledge. My respect meter went even higher for Kevin when he told this girl straight to her face, "Nah,
Right.
spoiled brat." But let me tell y'all somebody who I'm getting ready to make a replacement on the team, ladies and gentlemen. Tracy's off my Shy team, so I'm replacing her with Dakota, who would like to stand up and be the white shield. She can get on the team right now. So Larry, I'm giving it to you, baby. Talk about this whole scene when she was Jump on Jake, Jemma was trying to orchestrate this walkout, but the plan really wasn't as good as it should have been.
Right.
You know, I love this scene for so many reasons. You know, one is that we get to see more of this, that Jemma really thought she was going to get a little sort of feeble-minded bad boy from the hood that she can run around and control, and she got the exact opposite in Kevin. She got a young man with a very, very firm backbone who stands up for himself, stands up for what he believes in, and is also not afraid to be emotionally vulnerable and share his intimate feelings with her, you know, but he does it in his way. And because she can't control him, she just ultimately doesn't want to be with him. And she wants a weak dude. And that's why she's finding herself attracted to Jake. And when he said, you know, when he said his piece, and first of all, he just sort of clowned her in front of everybody because she's up there with her little beret trying to act like somebody in the comment section said, I don't know who it was exactly, but I'm trying to give you your shout out. He used to call her a trust fund Angela Davis. You know, I mean, that's
wait a minute, Larry.
They said that on my channel too.
Larry, pump the brakes for a minute.
You said a trust fund Angela Davis.
Hey, stop this, man. Dakota is not a lock and key. She said she's a white shield.
Dakota
That's what she said.
She's
not a lock and key.
Why you ain't put the locks and key up, Jim?
Stop it.
Jim, why you ain't put the locks and key up, Mom?
Wasn't she just servicing Jake in the bathroom last episode?
Yeah, she made him professional.
But she's standing up. But she's standing up for what's right for the Black lives that matter.
Goodness.
And I appreciate that about her being the white shield. See, support gaming. Come on, man. And Nita, you on the damn show, Nita.
Look,
she put up the lock.
Look, I was about to put it up, but Nita beat me too.
Go ahead, Larry, man. God, cool.
So I mean, I like the fact that Kev stood up and said something, not because he sort of clowned her too when she was talking about we're going to send out DMs. So he was like, so basically you want to leave a trail to let everybody know who did this. And so he was basically telling her and everybody in that room, not only is this a dumb idea, but it's a dumb idea that's going to get you in trouble because you haven't even taken the time to think about it. Like the thing with Jemma is Jemma doesn't belong to the struggle. She wants to because she thinks that the struggle is hers because she's black, except she doesn't have the part of the struggle that matters, which is all the bad part. She shouldn't have to worry. She's shielded from all that because she's rich and goes to a private school. She doesn't have to worry about any of the stuff that Jake and Kev have to deal with, you know? And even then, Kev, I think, realized on some level when Jake was like, "Nah, I'm with her," was that he has that privilege because he has a rich stepfather who's a mayor.
He got the in his back pocket.
Yeah, he's got Trey on the streets that's gonna watch out for him. I mean, when Kev's sister got kidnapped, he had to beg his friend to go have somebody go look for her. He
beg.
Yes. He doesn't have anybody. He doesn't get that. So what Kev has to do is keep his head down, do his work, and make it so that he can go and pull his people out, his brother, his sister, and his moms and everybody else out. So, you know, and for them to basically try and force him to do something that they know is wrong for him. There's things that you know are right. Like she's talking about getting in good trouble. I'm down for people getting in good trouble, but there's some times where people should not be a part of that action because it's not the right time for them, you know? And you can utilize those people in other ways, but that wasn't good enough. They wanted to control the way he participated in their struggle, and she didn't really have a struggle. I mean, you're a rich girl in a white school. You don't have a struggle. And that's one thing she hated too, is that in that moment, you had Kev that exercised his leadership abilities, because we saw nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. Everybody was influenced by Kevin and not her, you know?
And you know what, Larry? She need to take off that damn Black Power beret, man. I'm tired of it, man.
Look, it's too late. The scene was cut. It's already on.
It's halfway on that throat.
Damn it. Nita, jump on in there.
Raspberry beret.
Jump on in there, Nita.
I agree wholeheartedly and 100% with Larry.
What?
I do. I don't care.
That was hard to say, huh?
I give props when you're right, and I will correct you when you're wrong. So I'm not biased here. Like I just feel the way I feel, and everything that he said was absolutely correct. And I give Kevin props for standing up for himself in that manner, because he had just came from the counseling session. He had just was given his freedom, and the parents said, okay, we're gonna back off, but you have to have some accountability and some responsibility. And he took that in his hands, and he thought about it, and he moved accordingly, and I respect him for that. I love the way he moved in this episode. Oh my God, that problematic scene with Papa and the pulpit, that was a mess. But other than that, I respected how he conducted himself in this episode. And he told her exactly right, you're a spoiled bitch. And he didn't call her a bitch. I'm not gonna call her a bitch. He said you're a spoiled girl, a black girl, and that's exactly what she is. And it's like Larry said, she want to identify with the struggle, but she don't have any consequences at all when it comes to her actions. And Kevin said, we don't have that type of protection. Well, Jake obviously does, because we saw Duda in there, but he does not. So he needs to look out for his own self.
J-Mo, jump on in there. Give us some more.
Hey, that's what I do. But she definitely, somebody said, need to get rid of that Frederick Douglass part. You ain't lying. I'm tired
you talking about
that.
this one?
Who said that?
Who
said she got?
It's
looking like Glory Part 2 up in this.
You said she got.
Here's a better look.
The Frederick Douglass part. No, you didn't.
Right. That boy, that looked horrible. The beret can only fit on one half of the part.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather see the Frederick Douglass part than the beret. Get rid of the beret, man. Damn, you ain't in the Olympics with your fist up. Get rid of it.
Right. Exactly. And that's what Swipe Lee said that I agree with, is that she romanticizes the struggle. Like she like wanting to be a part of something you're not. Just because you black don't mean you part of it. Now, not to say you're not part of it, but you're trying to be a part of what you're not. Like, be who you are, be real. You know what I mean? Own your truth. And she's trying to take, like like Kev said when she was talking about put it out there with the DM, so you can try to take credit for everything. Like, she's trying to build up like a Black Power resume or something of sorts. You know what I mean? As if like, I started this, I did this, I'm that. Follow me, this good trouble. Good trouble for who? Right. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about what your parents gonna be proud of. They ain't gonna be proud of this shit. What the hell? I just told them I wasn't gonna do this, and now what I'm supposed to tell them? Jemma thinks it's good trouble, Ma. What?
Hey man, they said we going to hell.
Y'all mean as
right.
Moochie, jump on in there, man. How you feel about
I like what Kevin was saying, but I don't like the fact they made him look like a slave, like he like that, yes sir, like the slave, like I got to be free. Like they had him like that. Like why they had to bring it to that?
I'm gonna be free.
Yeah, like I just got my freedom.
Y'all
like,
don't
why
know.
they had to have him sounding like a runaway slave, like a slave that's like trying to be the good the good guy.
Well, he also said in that same statement, he also said, how can I help the movement if I don't have my freedom? I mean,
I got what he said with that, and I'm glad he said it, and I'm really glad that he said what he said to Jemma, because that's facts. You talking, but you not really like. If I get in trouble, my trouble ain't gonna be the same trouble as your trouble.
Right.
And they should appreciate
and that's what
Kevin's there on scholarship.
No, man, I already seen what happened this morning when Duda came. I'm not gonna get in trouble like that either. So now he gonna pump, he gonna pump his chest too, and go there with her too. Because at this point, we already know he's trying to get with Jemma.
Put up Derek Brooks' comment.
Oh, first, before we do that, we got another super chat from Michael Hodges. This is Muchella's boo thing right here. She thinks she Queen Latifah. Oh, boy, you funny. Which one you say, J-Mo?
Derek Brooks, what he said about Kevin.
Oh, Lord, he called him Kevin Kente.
No, I don't see him as that. He's trying to earn he's trying to earn his mother's trust back.
Yeah, I can't get him like that.
But even on top of all of that, let's not forget Kevin was a smart kid from the hood, and then someone said you should look into this school, and he took the initiative and did it. And Kevin is there on scholarship. Mm-hmm. Kevin can't afford to screw up like they can, because Jake's tuition is paid for. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be in the school. And her tuition is paid for. So they don't want to get rid of those two, because those are two cash-paying students. Now, these scholarship kids, if you screw up, they will get rid of you quick, fast, in a hurry. And Kev will be back in a neighborhood school where he won't even get the education needed to succeed in college.
Exactly. Snap him up. Snap them up. Snap them up in a heartbeat.
And they not even, to me, they not even focusing on that, because he didn't want to go to that school in the beginning. Remember, he hid the papers and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he's all right. Now I'm here, so now I'm gonna make sure I make things happen. Right. Because I hope that he turns out good.
I don't see them right. I think they will get Kevin character together. He's going through it right now. This is making him tougher.
I like Kevin.
Yeah, I know. We all like Kevin.
Taco Bell is saying I don't like Kevin. That's not true.
Oh yeah, Moochie like Kevin.
That's one of my babies. That's like one of my babies.
All right, Nita, I'm swinging this ball your way. Now, there was some chatter on these YouTube internet streets about Keisha when she went up here to job to just see what was going down. But who's the receptionist? Is she somebody famous? Is she somebody from YouTube? Who's the receptionist? And then just in general, Nita, what did you think about this whole scene where she got to know her a little better, understand what she do for a living, and that's when the wheels got turning?
Yeah, I don't recognize that girl from the YouTube streets. Put it in the chat, y'all, if y'all recognize her. I don't recognize her.
Wearing that dress though.
What you say?
I say I know she was wearing that dress, boy.
You was watching them hips swaying, wasn't you?
You
was watching them hips swaying, wasn't you?
I was like, okay, I'm interested in this storyline. Where are we going, girl? What's happening?
Right.
She was strutting like a washing machine on the spin cycle. Yes,
she did. No, you didn't.
I was ready to watch a load of whites up in this piece.
Exactly. I got some white Spider-Man underwear too.
That's right. Lee said Macy Gray. That ain't no damn Macy Gray.
My goodness.
Macy Gray when she was 21.
Right. Somebody said Tabitha Brown. I don't know who Tabitha Brown is.
Tabitha Brown is this character. This is Tabitha Brown. That's Tabitha Brown.
She plays Octavia.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right, go ahead, Nita.
I like the scene. I like the scene because I remember when in my first review of the show, I said we're not going to see the last of Tabitha Brown's character. I said she's going to come back. We're going to realize that just because you're single or you are going to be single or newly divorced, that it doesn't take away from you and your character. And she proved that she had a good character. The little receptionist girl, she was just like, yeah, she's just a really nice person, but she's very private. So I don't know nothing about her, but I know that she's a good person. She did this for me. She did that for me. She walks in with a smile every day, no matter what. She's going through a divorce, and she still walks in with a smile. So I mean, it just spoke to her character, and I really appreciate it. And she also gave some gems to Keisha, telling her that she was strong and sturdy. Like she didn't want to compare her to a building, like what she's doing, like her work and as an architect. But she still said that she was strong and sturdy. And I think Keisha needed to hear that. And she heard it, and she thought, I think she bonded with her in that moment and just realized that, sometimes these fronts and flaws, the same thing with the other married couple. She was just like, they was presenting like they were good, but at the end of the day, they felt weird. They had weird energy. And she tried to put everything out and be honest about it. And then she was like, oh, I really want my child to be in a 2-parent household. It's important for me. So I'm glad that they kind of came to this type of moment, and it was just cute. I liked it a lot.
Okay, J-Mo, jump on in there.
Yeah. So I like that she kind of is talking to her and finding, I guess, maybe a friendship more than just somebody for her child. But at the same time, I'm just tired of her doing. I wish she would have had an adoption agency. And when she did ask her the question about, you built all this, she like, yeah, well, I don't see it this way or that. And she like, okay, well, what you see when you see me if I was a building? I want her to say 35th Estate, the projects. Like,
wow. Damn.
Just because I want to laugh.
Like that.
Damn,
just because I wanted to
laugh.
laugh. Not that I think she's the projects or that way, but I thought that would have been funny.
Okay.
Right. So that was just my inner monologue jokes. That's the first thing popped in my head.
There you go.
Right. But I don't see her as the projects. But she could have spent it like, well, you the projects. It started off bad, but it could be a stepping stone to something good, girl. But no, I'm just joking. But anyway, it was interesting that she came and seemed to gravitate to her in a way like a mentor or something that Kev needs. A mentor or somebody that you can talk to other than your mom. And it seemed that we may see her more in the show as it goes on.
Yeah.
As not just the adoptive parent, but as, maybe, that person in her life, a good friend or something. So that was interesting. And somebody said that she's a YouTuber. I did look it up. She do food videos. So
and she's from Raleigh. She's from this area of North Carolina too. Actually got married in Greensboro.
Okay.
Moochella, I pass the torch to you. How'd you like the scene?
I like this scene because I like the way she described her as being a strong person, because Keisha really needed that at that moment. Because she was a broken person from her being in captivity with that guy or whatever. And I just feel like when she said, like, you're strong, you have a good foundation, you withstand a hurricane, and when she said all of that, I was like, yes, that's what she needed to hear. That's what she needed to hear, because once everything happened with Keisha when she was last season, she was a broken person. And I think this is just what she needed to hear to build herself up.
Right.
I hope they bring this. I hope they keep her. And I said this last week, I was hoping they bring her back. And I was glad to see her when I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I said that last week, I hope they bring her back. Because I feel like that. I said that I felt like she should be the parent.
I think pretty much all of us felt like she was going to come back. You don't bring someone with that kind of following on your show just to have them for a one hit quitter. So I thought they was going to bring her back. Larry, finish off this scene, then we'll get on to, let's see, it's going to be Moochie's turn next. Lord have mercy.
What scene?
And I don't want it. I ain't gonna say nothing. But go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, I think when Keisha was walking in there, I think she saw her possibilities. I think when she walked in there, she saw all those people working and all these people that were at their cubicles and their small offices, and then here is the boss lady. And I think Keisha saw the possibilities for her own life, and I think she liked what she saw, and she thought, hey, if this woman can do all of this, then maybe she is okay. Maybe she can handle, being a single parent. And she also, I think she saw all this and thought, if she can do all this, maybe I can do all of this. Because let's not forget, Keisha was like before she got kidnapped, Keisha was sort of the hope that people had in the neighborhood. She was the one that was going to get out of the neighborhood and go off to California and go to college and run and get an education and do something special, And I think she still has some of those aspirations in her, and she's looking at this and thinking, maybe I can be put back together. I think she was trying to compare herself to one of those buildings or one of those sort of piles of rubble, even though this woman wasn't willing to go there with her. I think Keisha was comparing herself to one of those piles of rubble and wanted to hear you could be put back together. And this woman was saying, I'm not going to make that comparison, but you can do it. If you feel like you need to be put back together, you're strong enough that you can do it. So I like her for the, for the adoption, because I think it's going to, I don't get me wrong, I still think I would be best if she was in a happy 2-parent household, but I think with this woman, Keisha will be happy and feel safe and secure that her child is in a good place. I will point out one thing though, and the women are probably not going to like to hear this, but this woman is another prime example of why you cannot have it all. When I know women want to say, I want to have it all. I can be a professional woman that's a big boss and all this, and I can have the kid and the husband and everything, and you cannot have it all. People often try and say that they're Wonder Woman and you do this, you're not. Men don't get to have it all when they're big time like this. That's why you hear about CEOs that are on their 3rd and 4th wives, because when you're working that much and you have all those employees you're responsible for, and all these other people whose jobs and livelihoods are responsible for because of, you have to lead them. Otherwise, not do you just lose your job, but they may lose their job and their livelihoods. People work 12, 15 hours a day, and that's you can't maintain a relationship like that. You can't go to work for 12, 15 hours a day, come home, eat, go to sleep, and go back to it, and give your spouse and your family nothing and expect that that's going to be okay. We see kids all the time that grow up that have lots of money because their parents are doing something big, and they are screw-ups because they have everything in the world. They have all the fancy schools. They have all the fancy clothes. They have the nice house. They go to all the best camps and play sports, except they don't have their parents, and they end up being in all kinds of trouble with drugs and alcohol, dysfunctional behaviors, everything. You can't have it all. No one can.
Okay.
That's true.
All right, Moochie, I'm coming to you now. I don't want to see nothing in this thing about lock and key, because this young lady put herself on the line so that us blacks could get away. When Jake decided that he was gonna first, they all met up right here at the I guess this is the secretary's office. Jemma's hot as hell because she wants to know, where's everybody else? And Dakota's like, I'm here for you guys. And then the next thing we know,
they don't pull. She got her picket sign.
Dakota says, pull that lever. I'm going to be your white shield. Take it away.
Why they have to run holding hands too?
That's the one. That was the beginning of
we had to get a little soap opera. We had to get a little soap opera action in here. Go ahead. Yes, on Moochie. Yes, on Moochie.
Look, she said, go back to class and learn something.
Oh my goodness.
She's like, go back to class and learn something. She was like, what you mean he on a dentist appointment? Y'all go back to class and learn something. And then he could have been like, all right, let's go back to class, because Like, what? We just cutting school at this point.
Right.
Like, once he pulled that file on him, he knew where this was going. And then he gonna take them to the L or whatever. He not even think about the little white girl that gave him a professional.
Right. He should have took her
The
with
white
him.
shield.
She was the white shield.
Funny. Whoever wrote that line, thank you. That gave me the biggest laugh of the night.
See, you see why I rise for Dakota. That's why I rise for D now, because
she locking Key Jr.
Because the D rises for her.
With support game, and she locking Key Jr.
Oh my goodness gracious! Larry, take the wheel, Larry, because they losing their mind, Larry. Go ahead. You know this girl sacrificed everything she had. She sacrificed her picket signs. She sacrificed getting away for freedom. She even let another woman hold the hand of the man she just did a job on for the blacks. Black Lives Matter, and she proved that Black Lives Matter. Go ahead.
So before
be here to support Jake.
So before I go too far down this storyline, are we gonna talk about the kiss too?
We can talk about that right now.
Okay, so here we go.
We can talk about that right now because here it is in action. Jake looking at her talking about, oh, I gotta show y'all my face. Oh, you've got an eyelash on your brow and shit. Like we boomerang. And then he grabs the eyelash and she blows it and says, I have to make a wish. Mwah.
Right.
Yeah, just go for it. Take it all, Larry. Take it all.
Make a wish.
Yeah.
Wait, I was the only one that touched on the last scene.
I know.
Nobody else talked about it.
We got to pick this up. It's only 20 minutes left.
Okay, go ahead.
We got to pick this up. So go ahead, Larry.
So first of all, one of the things that I noticed right away was that, well, first of all, is that people follow leaders with a plan. They had no real plan, and so no one followed them. They just were like, we're going to walk out. And then what? Even when they got outside the school, they were like, now what? They didn't know what to do. And this is the next thing that got me was like, how long were they? I mean, how far away was this fish shop? Because they went to go get a fish sandwich. They left school at like 11 o'clock, and she was worried about what are we going to do because it's so many hours to the end of the day. And then they get to the fish shop, it's nighttime.
Right.
He said, let's take the L and go to, and we're going to go somewhere.
It don't take that long.
Look, I'm just giving it to you. You know the subway system, Jay, right?
Yeah, it don't take that long.
Like,
they went all the way around the city.
And take this spot and take it to this spot here and there, whatever.
Yeah.
Even if it was in the dead of winter when it gets dark early, it gets dark at like 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
They left school at like 11. It doesn't take 4 or 5 hours to get, 6 hours to get to the fish shop.
Look, they was riding on the L, and that's where it was. Look,
while they was riding on the L, she was riding on the D.
You know what? I'm not going there. If that was the case, they would have went back to her house.
Right.
This is one of those scenes where, this is one of those things where you see two people who get together who deserve each other. And I don't mean that in a flattering way. And they're going to end up probably hurting each other in such a way that they both deserve, She's probably going to get her heart broke and she's probably going to get pregnant by him or something. And then he's going to leave her. And it's going to be a big old disaster. It's going to be something terrible. And both of them are going to get what they deserve. And when all this happens, when these two are up there ruining their futures by getting pregnant or passing each other STDs, Kev's going to be downtown hanging out with her dad, Marcus, taking an internship at the mayor's office, getting his letters of recommendation so he can go to Princeton. That's what he's going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Nita, jump on in there.
Oh, I'm good.
Don't say nothing bad about my white shield.
No, I'm good on that. I'm good on that scene. You can skip me. I said my thing. I said it was the funniest scene. I was like, just shout out to whoever wrote "I'm Your White Shield." That was my commentary on that.
Okay, J-Mo, jump on in there, my brother. Talk about all you want to talk about. You can talk about the white shield. You can talk about her making a wish on her fake ass eyelash, blowing kisses at the eyelash and stuff. You can talk wherever you want to go, J-Mo. You can talk about her Frederick Douglass part.
right. So it definitely was funny. We're talking about I'm your white shield. I think she was full of it, talking about that so that they could go ahead and leave. And then she probably put that sign down and went back to class like they dumbass about to get in trouble. That's probably what really happened.
Yep.
That's probably what really happened. She like, I ain't about to run off with y'all. Y'all stupid. Ain't nobody else following. It's two people protesting. What the hell I look like? I catch you after class.
Dakota, why'd you leave class all early? Oh, I had feminine problems. I had to leave. Okay, go ahead and go back then.
Exactly.
You know?
Like Jemma said,
it's run out.
Is two people really a protest?
Right. Hell no. No.
That's skipping school. Skipping
it
class.
It was a protest against
once they went out to school, and remember they showed a couple of people that came out, because remember he pulled the fire. Now everybody's gonna come out the building.
Right.
Right.
So now, even if you did have people that was going out to protest, when the fire alarm's over, they still gonna go back in.
Exactly.
And they just broke out.
Yeah, and also she tried to blame Kev for it, talking about Kev scared everybody. Man, get out of here.
No, you didn't have a plan, girl.
Right. Protest.
What Kev did was
protest. You wanted to
Kev
protest
did was showed his leadership. Kev showed his leadership and stood up and said what he was going to do, and people chose to follow him. That's what happened, because people follow natural leaders. You can try and be a leader, but people don't follow leaders who are fake ass leaders. They don't follow them. You get a couple of knuckleheads that don't know any better, but true leaders, people gravitate towards them. And when Kev just said what he was going to do, other people said, yeah, that sounds good to me, and followed along with what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not the end of what we're going to see Kev. Kev is going to be in a leadership position. They're going to have to put him in there. And they might make him a good person and then kill him, so we don't know. He's already great. They can't have a straight dude that's this good for this long, so they might have to kill him off. But
don't say that.
I'm just saying,
have another Ricky and the Boys in the Hood situation.
I want to see him make it to the end, and that was a good line that you wrote, that he could be an intern for Jemma's father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope the people that's writing the show listens to this and goes with that for next season.
Man, if they
don't even like at the last episode.
Maybe what they'll do is the last episode of the series itself. Maybe they'll show like they'll do one of those time jumps forward where they show Kev had gone off, went to law school, he comes back, and then he hooks up and gets married to Jerica.
Right, and then Jerica, she too old for him.
She's probably only like 5-6 years older than him.
Who's Jerica?
Brandon's old girl.
Nah,
that girl like 10 years older than him.
She's like older Jemma to me.
Yeah, it would be great to me if that time jump happened.
The hard time she gave to Brandon.
She really did give him a hard time.
The only reason why she dated him because her girls was like, "Oh, you got a thug," and he didn't even want to be recognized or something like that.
Yeah, right. I think it would be great with the time jump if we saw 10 years or so in the future. Here comes Jake trying to fill out an application to work for him or something. Talk about me.
No, I don't. I can't even see that happening with Jake because, if Duda don't die, Jake's life is planned out good because Duda's already gonna take him under his wing. If y'all gonna run with this like this, Jake is already. The question is, are them two gonna be at each other?
I could see Jake getting killed by somebody like old boy on the streets that killed Ronnie. Or getting killed by the police and not even making it to be old enough, even though all that stuff is planned out. He too damn hard-headed, don't listen, and he talk crazy real quick. Even he talk crazy to Trig, talking about, this ain't your house, this Red's house. And then he had to check him. Like, Jake run off at the mouth too quick and not realizing who he talking to. Like,
I'll tell you what's going to happen is that she's going to get pregnant by Jake. Her daddy's going to be pissed off saying, I gave you every opportunity in this life to not screw up and you still screwed up. So I'm taking your college fund and I'm giving it to Kev.
No, I can't see that happening.
She's going to be like, let your little man take care of you.
I can see him looking at her like, nah, I ain't messing with you no more.
Right.
I feel like she going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Nita,
gonna be
See
too
him
late.
saying,
this
I don't
one's
want to
for
hear
you.
about that drama with you and your bummy ass boyfriend, though.
Nita, this one's for you. We've all talked about this. This is the scene in which Emmett and Tiff is sitting in the car trying to put some barriers, around their open relationship. Bottom line, he don't want her screwing Dante. Bottom line, she don't want him screwing a black woman. Break down the scene, and then after this scene, guess what happens, Nita? Look where she wound up at. Hugging and kissing Dante. Break it down, Nita.
This is just all bad. It's all bad. Like I said, I'm not trying to rationalize any of this foolishness because that's at the end of the day, that's exactly what this is. This is foolishness. You don't go into a marriage as a married couple and then try to change it in the middle of what entered into and then try to say we are open marriage. Like that's not what we signed up for. So this whole thing is just ridiculous to me. Like the I understand trying to do the boundaries and all that stuff, but guess what? She's not even what she is saying is not even making any sense to me. She said she want to be honest, but in the second breath she said, I don't want to hear about no girls, nothing better not come back to me. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what do you want? Like, do you want honesty or do you want dishonesty?
Oh, she wants to have a boyfriend. That's what she wants.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all.
She wants to have her cake and let him eat it too.
Okay. Well, Jemma. Oh, okay. She coming back. Okay. What's going on over there? A tornado warning?
Yeah.
Oh no, I heard some kind of
it's an emergency alert.
They probably putting that alert for Imani doing too much.
No. Okay. So I was just talking about the logic that she was like, whatever she was saying, this shit didn't make any sense whatsoever. You cannot be immature and you cannot be insecure when you're entering into an open marriage. And that is basically what both sides have admitted to me. I think Emmett seems a little insecure and Tiffany seems a little immature, because if you really want to come down to it, that when that happened, when he did that revelation, they should have just said, you know what, I think we made a mistake. Let's go ahead and stop this and let's just get off the roller coaster. Like it just doesn't need to go any further. I hate people that say they stay together for the kids.
Right.
You cannot stay together for the kids because what you're showing to them is like toxic. You cannot be in a relationship with somebody just to say I'm there for the kids. It's called co-parenting. Co-parent in a healthy way, because if you're fighting all the time, you don't want to mirror that behavior to your children. If you're not being loving to one another, you don't want to mirror that. You don't want to establish that that's how married couples are supposed to be. So at the end of the day, I say totally it's a wash. They should have ended it and go their separate ways.
So.
J-Mo, jump on
in. I agree, man. They both too young. They shouldn't be trying to stay together for the kids, because the kids gonna grow up seeing two people together that's miserable. You might as well be separate and happy than be together and be miserable. Even if you separate, you can still be there for the kids and take times and co-parent and make it work and be more responsible. I mean, they ain't even been married 6 months or a year, at least not a year. And now you already then got into some damn open marriage type stuff. And they in their early 20s, like early 20s. So like, you supposed to do this for 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years. Y'all supposed to do this? Like, how about we just realize that we done bit off more than we could chew. You letting him chew more than he should be getting to chew on the cookie. He dipping it in the milk and everything. He got the whole pack of cookie. And, you going over there delivering the cookie fresh baked. And, then when I get a little something, you talking about you can smell this, smell that. Like, I ain't going to talk about all the stuff I done smelled. You know what I'm saying? I done smell fresh sausage, all of that. It wasn't from my restaurant. So I mean, you got somebody else's sausage on the menu. I don't want to smell that shit either. I got hot link. You over here got Polish, smelling like Jewtown Polish at that. I don't need to smell onion and mustard. All right.
Man, you talk about Jewish, man. That's that damn Jamaican sausage, man.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right. It got
Moochie
chopper chunky up in this piece.
Yeah, man. Moochie, take the wheel, man. What you think about this scene?
All right. When they was discussing everything in the car, she had all of. She's basically, or she's controlling the whole thing.
Yeah.
She like then she, and then Emmett. So this is when you see how stupid, how they make Emmett stupid.
Yes.
Where you don't want me catching D from random people.
He don't know how to articulate his point.
He was like, no.
Right.
So it's like she's controlling everything at this point.
Right.
She's dictating everything. Nah, you can't talk to people I don't like. So now I just saw it from somebody in the comments, and they have a good point. I don't remember who it was. What if he start talking back to one of his baby mothers?
Man, good point.
I ain't even think when they mentioned that. Now she really gonna be mad if it go, because now it could really go left.
Right.
Because now you gotta keep in mind like this: his mother's sick. He finds out this episode his mother's sick. You better hope he ain't crying on other people's shoulders.
Oh,
you understand? So now she goes. My question is this: because you took the car scene and her going to Dante's house. Do she got a key to Dante's house? Because she just walked up in there.
Oh yeah, good point.
She walked up in there like, this is my boo's house. And he, I'm coming on in and getting, getting served.
Right. Talking about putting the keys on the table. Dante, where you at?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like I want them to work out. I want them to try to work out. And I know y'all like, why would you want something like this to work out? I just feel like I do, because I know they're young, but stuff like this do happen when you get married young. And that's all. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, Larry, finish off this one, and we're going to be on the last topic next, which is going to encompass 2 parts.
Yeah, I don't want them to work it out. I want them to get a divorce. I mean, he has a justified out at this time, and he should take it and run and be done with her, because she not only did she try and intentionally inflict pain on him, but she has broken faith with their marriage by falling for this other guy. It's not even a physical thing anymore. It's not just something where she's up there feeling him physically because he's good in bed. She's actually establishing a connection with this guy, and she wants to have her husband at home, her security blanket that's gonna provide, a job and health care and child care. She wants all of that long-term stability at home, and then she wants to have her boyfriend on the side, and that's not the way marriages work. And at the same time, when he's going out there and doing something, she wants to try and dictate to him how he gets to live his life in this open marriage. And so the marriage isn't open if you're doing your thing and then you're over here trying to tell him how he's doing his thing. It's just, and you can tell this is that scene when you talk about they're in the car, when I said you can hear his tone and you can look at him and realize he's done with her. He's done with her, and he's done with this marriage, because Emmett went out and did his thing before he got married. And he's not interested in doing this. He's not interested in open marriage and a bunch of other women anymore. He's interested in being married. And she doesn't want to be married anymore. She wants to be able to go out there and run around and do her thing. And she's doing things in the exact opposite order. She should have been running around, sleeping with different dudes and doing her thing before she got married, and now she's doing it the exact opposite way. And I think Emmett's done. He's like, I think he tried, and I think he's at the point where he's like, you know what? it's better I don't do this. It's better I just move on and find someone who's in the same headspace as me so that we can move forward together, because she's not. And I really think what they're still doing, this I've been saying, is I think they have been tearing this relationship down so that they can free Emmett up to actually be with Keisha. Because they've been friends for the longest through their time together, through their breakup, all that. And I think what's gonna happen is that after Keisha gives birth and she gives his child up, she's gonna be feeling some sorts of way all over again. She's gonna need her friend, and her friend's gonna be there, except he's gonna be going through something too, dealing with Tiff. And we know what happens when you have two friends, opposite sex, both dealing with stuff. Oftentimes that turns into romantic entanglements, and then they can get together, and they already love each other, so it just makes it that much easier.
So, all right. And Tiff already,
I feel like he still should have told her that happened before they got married. He still hasn't mentioned that, and that's the part I'm pissed off about. When they was in that car at that moment, that's when he should have said, but this happened when they was doing all that litigation for negotiating and all of that. That's when he should have said, but this happened before we were married. He never said that, so she doesn't know.
And if he was really smart, he said, all right, well, if my dad ain't messing with Dom no more, I'm going to get back with Dom then.
You saying not at this point, but I still think.
No, here's the reason why.
It's
y'all
no coming
right,
back.
actually.
Look, she got the good D and she hooked now.
No, this is the reason why I say it doesn't matter. It's because if something happened with my wife and she came home and told me that she did something, my first thought is I'm not going to run off to some bitch's house that I have waiting in the wings and been just waiting for any excuse to get over there. I'm probably going to my brother's or my mother's house and I'm going to rant and be like, this bitch done this and blah, blah, blah. No, this bitch had this nigga on ice waiting for any excuse to get herself over there and go get this dick. She was waiting. If he had came home one night and smelled like Cheetos and she would have ran over there and done the same thing because she was waiting for any reason to get over there.
That's true.
Heck yeah, because he already said, yo, whenever you want, I got this big D for you.
But she was waiting
when she was like, you know what? I'm gonna put that in my Rolodex in my head.
Man, she put it in the Rolodex. The Rolodex.
It doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't matter if he told her that it was before or after they got married, because she was going to end up over there anyways, because she had already decided that's what she wanted to do. She just needed an excuse to justify it in her own mind so she could feel good about herself.
I still disagree. I feel like if he would have told her the right way instead of blurting it out like he did in the middle of sex, he wouldn't have left like that.
She still would have ended up over there. That's the thing. She was so hot and ready to get there. She went straight.
Like I said, I know he got in her head.
It still would have happened.
I think y'all both got good points. She already had him in her mental Rolodex. But but Larry, it's too late now because you didn't already did it and started it. But if he would have told her maybe before they got married, maybe she still would have went and used you went over there. But at least y'all didn't get married, and now y'all can move on. You know, that's how I look at it. Now he kind of stuck in his mind. At least he feels like he's stuck with needing to be with her because they married. Whereas, although like you were saying earlier, he did how you should do before you get married, whether you male or female, is enjoy or do whatever it is you're going to do and get it out of your system, so to speak, before you get married. You shouldn't be cheating or having, people in your mental Rolodex or roller cats or whatever you want to call it, ready to have, dial a dick on demand type shit. You need to, you need to be able to clear that memory, erase the phone and erase all of that stuff, man or woman, and because now you are fully committed with this person. You didn't have to marry him. This ain't like back 100 years ago with shotgun weddings. So you didn't have to marry a person. So why do it if you don't really want to?
I do want to point out, I know D Weave says Larry's 1,000% right, and he said Emmett is the clown of the millennium. I want to say this. I don't think Emmett is the clown of the millennium. I don't think he's a clown at all. I think what's happening with a lot of people, they think, okay, if you're a guy that somebody's got a bad echo going. Is that me? But
I don't hear an echo, but go ahead.
All right. Well, is that I think that a lot of people think that as a guy, that if something happens like this, like your first reaction should be you have to go out there and reassert your manhood in some way and go get some girl and say, look, I'm this, I'm that, I'm Billy Badass. You have to call her a B and leave her and all that stuff. I think what you have to do is act in a calm, respectful manner so that when you walk away from that situation, you've done it right and you don't have any regrets. And you, your family, even the person that you walked away from can't say that you did something wrong in that. You can simply say, no, you ran off, you cheated, you did your thing. And I simply walked away from a terrible situation. All they can do is agree with you. And that way you can leave with your dignity fully intact. And you don't ever, and one of the important things about walking away clean is you do that so that you never have to look back.
Exactly.
You never have to look back. There's a lot of people that live in the past. I've told my wife, I said, when I've been in relationships in the past, I put in the work and see if it can work. And I do that so that when I'm done, then I am emotionally, I hit that damn switch. I am over and
That's
done
how
with
I
it.
am.
I don't ever have to look back and say, oh, I wonder what could have happened if we just tried this.
Yeah.
I tried everything. That shit didn't work, and now I'm out forever. And when ex-girlfriends call you up and say, oh, how are you doing? Fine. Thank you for calling. Bye.
Right. But you got to keep in mind, I agree with what you're saying, but I wasn't at that point in life when I was at their age either. So that's the only thing. But other than that, I agree with everything you're saying. I don't necessarily believe in the zodiac or whatever, but what's your sign, man?
Me?
Yeah.
Cancer.
Okay. I see. That's what I say. I don't even know what that means, but I know
they're very family orientated.
Okay. See, I'm a Virgo. So, but what you said is how I am. Like, if I'm with you, I'm putting in everything I can. We're going to try to make it work, this, that, and the other. And by the time I am done, I'm not calling you back. I'm done. Like, I'm done and exhausted all of those feelings, all of that stuff, all of that time. I don't want to hit it again. I don't want to do this. I'm not wondering that. We went through all of that already. You know
Virgos are perfectionists.
I thought Larry was a Virgo. I'm so surprised.
I got it all wrong. I thought he was a Virgo too.
Yeah, I thought because you sound like me a lot on that.
I'm right smack in the middle of Cancer.
When is I don't know what all this means. So you sounded like me. So I was wondering if you may had that same thing in common. But other than that, I don't know what all the rest of it mean. I don't look into it.
I think Tiff is going to have her heart broken in some respect because I think that she tried to put this out there that oh, we're going to have this open marriage, and she wants to have her boyfriend, but she doesn't want anybody else to have Emmett, and she wants to make it so that even if he is out there having sex, it's not going to be with anybody that's going to bring it back to her. As she says, she doesn't want to hear about it, she doesn't want to see it, all that stuff. But what's going to happen is that Emmett's
she wants somebody that's not going to be a threat.
Right. But while all along she's up there just furthering this emotional connection with Dante, and I think what's going to happen is Emmett's just simply going to say, I don't want to do this. I'm beyond what this is right now. And we can see him already becoming a more mature individual just by the way he reacted to dealing with his mom. We see the way
we ain't get there yet, Larry.
No, I'm just saying he's dealing with the way he deals with his business. The way he's dealing with
and I can tell you right now, we ain't gonna get there. When Larry set up, this is the end of the stream.
Go ahead.
We're done. That's it. Good night. We love you guys. There's 208. Please all subscribe.
We can come over to my channel.
You can go to Jemma Channel. You can go to Jemma Channel to finish this discussion. When these long-winded people learn how to keep their shit a little shorter for 2 hours, then we'll get through the whole thing. That's it. Good night. Goodbye.
I know I talk a lot.
I will see y'all tomorrow for Run the World.
Hey, everybody, Nita, come on through. We could keep it going. Lamont, thanks again for having me on, man.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, and I respect you.